おかえりなさいませ。
So, I just watched the last episode of Vivi. I'm a bit late on this one because my weekend was a little bit weird. I got my second vaccine shot. Then we had to go do some stuff for my family, and then I also left my job recently. So that's been like 3 different things. So we got through with 86, and now I've finally caught up with the end of Vivi because I wanted to get it done. Don't like feeling too complacent. But it's interesting. This episode, I don't know if I feel like I enjoyed this ending more or 86's ending more, but there are parts of this ending I feel like are a bit nicer because it's more up to the reader, or at least it can reflect a bit more on you, and 86 is more about the characters to me. I'll kind of explain that later. We'll see if I get back to it. Either way, let's start off with the episode. So they went back in time, right where the song broke. I believe someone in the comments told me the reason why they couldn't go back any further. So at least that's wrapped up. So thank you for telling me last time. They're still singing the song. We get the same scene, literally the literal same scene, when she breaks the person's neck, and I was like, oh, I hope this isn't going to be like a lazy ending. But no, they switch out the other scene where she stops the guy instead, so he doesn't just go run into a car and get hit. The tone for this is slowly getting better, even though the world is on fire and the AI are killing everything. She saves. So Matsumoto does not know what happened because she has to update him, like literally update him, right? She beats Beth to saving the Toak guys. I did not write it down in my notes. I usually always write it down in my notes so I know what I'm saying. Organization of AI and humans working together now, and not the terrorist organization. There we go. Vivi is now taking charge. She basically gives everybody all the information they need, which I like, by the way. I can't stand when we have time travel anything, or like a person is aware of the facts and they just don't say anything. ReZero is clever in the way that they just have like the main character can't say what happens, right? So at least that's covered, but I hate when they're like, why didn't you tell us that thing was going to happen? I just didn't know how you'd handle it. It happens in regular Hollywood all the time. Vivi is asking for help as an AI, which I think is interesting because you have to wonder how these people feel about having help the AI. I feel like because she knows the root cause of it, that makes it a lot easier, and she just saved all their lives. But at the same time, yeah, knowing the root cause and being able to say, like, yeah, the archives was doing it, she's about to drop a whole satellite on us. We do not have time for this. Makes that a lot easier. I'm glad we didn't get a bunch of contrived nonsense for, like, people having issues towards the end. We also got a little cheer from them and Beth. Beth's questioning her, like, how do we even know she came back in time? And then she's just kind of like, I know everything. And then Beth's like, okay, wait, freak. All right. Ugh. So the one other great thing is because she saved a good number of people, she knows that they'll be better off from last time. And it reminded me of Orochi Warriors. I don't know if any of you guys have ever played that game. But specifically in that one, we get a bunch of people from the past and wars. There are a bunch of warriors. And they're fighting a giant snake demon, Orochi, a multi-headed Hydra, basically. But in that one, they specifically lose to a goddess saves them, and you start off the game at the losing point, like them on their final battle. So I thought that was really cool, and it kind of reminded me of that. It was just a nice nod. I thought it was really sick. Has nothing to do with the anime. I'm sure they weren't thinking about that when they wrote that. I just thought that was really cool. Matsumoto and her also get some character development too. I kind of like the dynamic Matsumoto and her have. It was really worrisome in the beginning because he ripped her arm off and a bunch of other junk. But just like her, he was an AI trying to fulfill his role, and he slowly has realized how he can be caring, have kind of emotions to a sense, while also completing the mission. And I remember in the very beginning, I was very skeptical of him, so I kind of have to give him his props for, in the very end, really being about it. Like, he was really about it. And I just thought that was really nice. And then Vivi told him a joke. She was like, yeah, your older self told me he loved to be squeezed like this whenever I was stressed out, or something funny like that. I chuckled a bit. And then that was like the first time. He said after 100 years, this is the first time you ever told a joke. So another question I had, right? So as we were going through this, we know the plan is basically storm the place again, but this time we're better prepared. We have more people. We know the game plan. Vivi just has to get there and sing. And right now she feels motivated enough to sing, it seems. She still has a probably stage. She's still a bit shaky, but the plan is we're going in and we're singing. Now, in the idea that this doesn't work, right? This almost feels like it kind of could have went to like a anime in a negative sense, or at least a very well written seinen, a dark anime in a sense. where you have maybe a main character who is just an AI after all the humans have been killed, and he slowly comes back to the fact or realizes that all the AI killed whatever species was here previously, or finds remnants of previous species. Because I had to wonder, like, when the AI, if it wins, after it kills all the humans, is it just going to wipe the AI's memory? Because these AI, they've had emotions before. We've seen to the point where one got suicidal, right? Eventually, they'll get to the point where they might remember some of the humans they were with, and that it forced them to basically kill, in a sense. Like, I know they're all connected in the archive now, but she's still partially having control over them, you know? Clearly, some AI have thoughts for themselves, as we still see with Vivi and with Beth. And I know Beth is just not linked to the archive, but then again, what I'm saying is it'd be really interesting to see where they went with that, or if Tepe had any ideas with that, if he has, like, an if, right? So, what I was more in... I had that one in my notes, my bad. So, Vivi's back where she started, basically. We saw Navi, which is a little computer that she used to talk to, which is inside the tower currently. And Navi is like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? And basically kind of goes onto a rant about how Vivi forgot about who she was, what she was going to do, that you're diva, and this is what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to sing on stage for the little girl. I think it was Momika. I think that's her name. That's what I wrote down. I don't know if I got that right. And I thought it was a really interesting note on how people can... As you grow up, you won't always do the thing that you say you were specifically going to do. You have a lot of friends that you're going to make promises with. You guys will say things like, oh, we're always going to hang out. Everything's going to be nice. And for myself, I guess the only thing I hold on to the fact is I don't take away friend status from my friends, regardless of how long it is that we talk. They could talk to me in 40 years, and if I said you were my best friend 40 years ago, you were still my best friend. You'd have to do things that are, like, super atrocious for me to be like, okay, maybe not. Typically, it's like you're going to be the same person probably when we meet up. You'll have different life experiences, but you're the same person, just in different situations. So I'm okay with that. And I just like seeing this point of view from Navi and how hurt Navi is in betrayal. Navi even shows Vivi a Momika, and that Momika calls her diva. And it was so painful to watch Vivi have to be like, she would never call me diva. She specifically called me Vivi. And the only reason why Momika did that is because Navi wanted Vivi to stay. He just wanted Vivi, or it wanted Vivi to just fulfill Vivi's purpose, because he knows Vivi's gonna die if she completes this. So that was just a really sad moment. It was really touching. And on this note, we get to Vivi. I believe it's mainly her about to sing her song. She's warming up her voice. And we get to hear finally what her heart is to her. And for her, it's her memories. These experiences she's got to do has allowed her to see people smile and allowed her to smile a lot more. Her memories are like another world. It was something to that same wording. I literally stopped. I stopped it 3 times, rewinded, and then paused it just so I could make sure I got my full impression of her thoughts from that, right? She literally has found a way to complete her mission while also doing this side quest, which is one thing I envy of her and I hope I can figure out to do in my life. I say this at 23. With Vivi, what she's shown us, and what Matsumoto has shown us as well, and I've said it with the other ones, a couple other AI, is just because you have a goal, which would be their programming, doesn't mean you have to only go that step. There are ways to get to where you need to go that might not be as direct as what you might think you need to do. And these memories or path that you take, especially in the arts, take it from an artist, change the way your art is perceived, change the way your art flows, change the way that your art looks, sounds, smells, tastes, because food and cooking, those are still arts, right? The only experience you can give people is your experience. It's the one thing we have, as terrible as some experiences might be, or as wonderful as some experiences might be. It's the only thing that is unique to you at all times. It's the same argument of, if I'm looking at the color blue, is it the same color blue to you? And we won't really know unless I take your eyeball out and we're able to look through it or whatever, like a lens, right? We all see things a bit differently, and even if they're kind of close, like you can have people who are almost one for one in art style, right? Let's say they draw almost the exact same, but they won't think of the same poses. They won't think of the characters doing the same thing. they'll think differently, even to the point of twins who are almost, they're more closely related than everybody else. That's still a thing. So within this montage, we get Vivi singing. We see giant AIs. We see somebody take a bullet for Beth. She's in shock. We see them go run in. We see Beth shut down the security system, which allows Matsumoto to fly all the way up to the top and for him to stop. And Vivi is slowly breaking down as we see electricity and sparks. We see her memories pop up around her as she sings, and she's finally singing her song, and it literally even says Fluorite's eyes in it. And she's breaking down. There's electrical sparks everywhere. Things are slowly getting better and then worse for Vivi as she keeps singing her song, but she's fulfilling her mission of singing to bring everybody happiness. It's bringing people happiness. This is a way to do it. Just in a very, this is like telling a person, like, you need to sharpen a pencil. That's your life goal. But it turns out the pencil you need to sharpen is actually a pencil that's going to stop a nuke. Like this. It's a little prophetic versus the tone of the anime, which would be a bit more scientific. It's a bit more on the prophetic side of having a goal than on the scientific side. But we see her slowly break down. Like, we see everything start to fade, and like the singing stops abruptly. And we also see a satellite headed, I think, towards her direction, at least towards the tower. I don't know if that was the last petty move of the AI. Matsumoto is blowing parts of himself up, and he makes it all the way up there. Turns off the AI, I think, with 2 minutes to spare. And then as he sees the satellite crashing down, I think he tries to intercept it too. I don't know if it was a second body, but that dude was dedicated. All right. I'm not going to be here shipping robots, but oh my gosh, Matsumoto, I was so proud of him. But man, it's how coldly the song ended, and Vivi hits the ground as almost like a husk now. And she just says, "Thank you for your kind attention." And like, it was just so sad. It was like watching oh my gosh, did I just say Vivi? Oh my gosh. That's not his name, is it? I had to actually Google this somewhere here. Wait a second. How many of you people have played Final Fantasy IX? Now, this isn't it is Vivi. I'm an idiot. How many of you played Final Fantasy IX? There's a character in Final Fantasy IX named Vivi who basically has to find the meaning of his life. Spoiler alert, you can just like probably skip like 10 seconds over, or to give it about 30 or a minute, just skip over. Vivi has a short lifespan, and he has to figure out how he can comprehend the thought of death. Ironically, I hope I'm not the first person. I'd be cool if I was the first person to think about this. They're giving me very similar vibes of figuring out life purpose. That's about it. Not lifespan though. She kicks his butt so hard in lifespan. Poor Vivi. All right. We're back. So outside of that, we get our ending. We see a lot of the memories. We saw a lot of the memories in her song. And this is the only time I was okay with this being a clip show because it made me sad. And then we also get a little bit in the ending of people like relaxing and calming down. And then we get this weird scene of Matsumoto with a short-haired Vivi. And so I have to wonder, did they just save her data? Did they make a clone or a copy out of her like they did Beth, which is what I'm thinking happened because she doesn't know Matsumoto. And now this Vivi gets to actually just kind of be diva and just sing her songs. And so it looks like she's going to have a more positive future. Also on the degenerate note, do you like long-haired divas? Short-haired diva more? Okay, I'm going to stop. It genuinely made me kind of sad though because we lost Vivi. She finally figured out what it was. And it's just like with diva, a lot of artists don't really get famous or really noticed till they're gone, and because they're a once in a lifetime experience, as every human is. And when they're gone, you can never get that new creativity from them. You only get what they left, and that's it. It's the only experience you have from them. And I'm sure you listen to plenty of artists and plenty of songs and plenty of people, and every tone is different, even in the same genre. And Vivi has left a unique impression. I do have my quipes about, things about the series that I'm not the biggest fan of, or I think too much time is spent on. And there's a lot of stuff I really like from this series, and I think I'm probably going to do like a big overview of 86, and then probably do a big overview of Vivi for both these spring animes that I started and finished with you guys. So I really hope you appreciate this. I gotta go binge Slime season 2. C Tactics told me that most of season 1 recap is in the first episode, and season 2 is supposedly where it gets good. I'm very late on this because what do I have, July 6th till the new season starts? So yeah, ooh, I have a week. Cool. I mean, a week's not that bad. And I'll catch you all later. Be sure, if you like my Genshin gameplay here, be sure to check me out on Lightning Eagle. And I'll catch you all later. Peace out. Bye. Baka Brigade.